Welcome along to everybody's favourite show on TVN, at least if you ask me, Neil Evans, Nick Quinn or Brent Zarafa. It's Talkin Thru Your Kick time, where we discuss what went right and what went wrong on the weekend, simply and purely from a punting perspective. And although you were out on the mountain with your throng of V8 supercar fans, and there was a lot of them out there, you still caught the odd glimpse of what happened on the weekend.
Yes, I did, Russell. Hello to everyone. And I still ran into a lot of galloping fans, of course, right around town. Talk about the highs and lows. Green Moon is an absolute star. I love the horse, Russ. Big story this morning with Glen Cadham Gold. Should mention it very quickly, getting into the Caulfield Cup. There's been a lot of money for it. Is it too short now? But... yeah, highs and lows. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And if there was a V8 Supercars version of this show, it'd probably be called Mud, Guts and Gears. But anyway, Brent Zarafa, welcome along to Talking Through Your Kick yet again.
Yes, good evening, Russ. Good evening, everyone. But just not a little bit sure on your explanation there on why it'd be called that. But anyway, I'll leave that to yourself.
Gears bit was all right. What about Mud Guts?
Profitable or lossable on the weekend?
Lossable because I backed Shootout. Well, I didn't back. I bought Shootout at the Calcutta last Thursday night.
I did hear a rumour, yeah.
Yeah, I was part of a syndicate that bought Shootout at the Calcutta last Thursday night at the Star after a few too many...
shooters.
Beverages, but certainly it was a good evening, and although we didn't get the cash, we still had a good night.
And Nicholas Quinn, who had a fat day. I don't know whether you follow him at Quinny_1, but it was go Team Williams. Can I have your children? Team Williams. There was a love fest on Saturday afternoon.
And rightfully so. It was one of the most amazing performances in the history of racing, what Team Williams did on Saturday.
History of
They
racing.
won everything they put a saddle
Where's
on.
the bucket?
No, mate, they're flying. And if you
Future
stick with them, you're going to have a good spring.
Yeah, and a couple of them were the throws from the boys at the stumps. We finally delivered after about 8 weeks, and we finally found a winner. But let's go with the wrap or the slap. Kicking it off, I might as well opening the batting. I'm actually going to wrap a different team. I'm going to wrap the fabulous Baker boys, Team Murray and Bjorn Baker. Because despite what everyone said, they said, this is the best horse we've ever trained. This horse will do everything that we say it would do. And despite running up and down the straight like a drunken sailor every time it goes around, it continues to deliver.
Good horseman.
It's a done deal.
Yes, love the horse.
Wrap or slap?
Could be both. I'll do a slap. It's a slap for this ruling, Victorian stewards, about the late scratching of Exceptionally, which I don't understand. I'll tell you what, if you're an owner, a trainer, you do everything to protect your horse, look after your horse. So well done to them for doing that. But how does that work? There was no change in the track rating for the day. It's almost like this sort of little special get-out clause if things don't change.
It was actually raining.
Might.
They were a bit concerned about the horse's feet between 8 o'clock and half an hour before the first race.
I understand it all, how it all sets up, but how does that work? I mean, how can you apply that? Where does it lead? It opens up the biggest can of worms, I think.
I was sitting at the races at Randwick watching the race with John O'Shea, and he goes, "Where's Exceptionally? Where's Exceptionally run?" I said, "It's scratched because the track's too firm." He said, "It's raining." And I said, "Well, let's..."
Johnny O'Shea, not the smartest cue in the rap.
I'm not saying that. You can
Hello, Johnny.
But my rap is to Tommy Berry. I think this guy's done a fabulous job. He's a 21-year-old jockey who's certainly taking Sydney by storm. 2 Group 1s in the space of 40 minutes on Saturday, and a very, very good kid.
And a handy little ride in the 2-year-old in race 2, but that was about the only joy for Rusty. Nicholas.
I'm giving a rare slap, and I'm going to give it to a horse, Bell Sprinter. Jason Warren's done a great job to get him back to where he is and had a great job with Pronto getting the chocolates on Saturday. But Bell Sprinter, I cannot catch it, and there's lots of punters in the same boat because he never does the same thing twice in a row. Whether it's jumping, whether it's hitting the line, whether it's his racing pattern, and he's sacked.
Okay, well, we're going to have a segment later in the show called When Is It Time to Sack a Horse? I'm pretty sure now is the right time for Bell Sprinter, according to Quinny. Let's have a look at the Team Williams, the greatest thing to ever hit racing in the history of this great sport that we love. They put saddle on how many horses? 4?
Well, they had 4 winners and a runner-up.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
good day.
Everything did everything it should have been. Green Moon, obviously the gun performance here in the Turnbull. Have a look at Seville in the yellow, sorry, not in the yellow cap, in the blue cap down the outside. It was a terrific run. And boys, you take me through this one. Neil, you first up.
Well, I'm a massive Green Moon fan. This is a horse, boys, I feel, it doesn't matter where it is in the run, never punches. Gets down, heads, finds a line. The punters always want to be on a horse who knows where the post is. And it was there to be beaten early in the straight. Still kept finding under pressure. Love the horse. I thought it was brilliantly placed in the race. And if it goes to the Cox Plate, it might just be another Saintly. If it can roll Piero, Cox Plate into Melbourne Cup.
Well, it's certainly going to be a big test towards Piero. These are the types of horses he has to step up to beat in the Cox Plate, and really like the way Green Moon lowered himself there and attacked the line strongly. I think from a Caulfield Cup perspective, you have to look at Seville, December Draw, and even Viola Ichi. The grey that was in front, he put on plenty of antics before the race.
Where's Zabilia? I just need a tweeter said to me, just point out to Nick, where is Zabilia? There he is.
There he is, back running up a few rear ends, but still probably not attacking the line. Southern Seed, she looks as though she's had enough. But
just see Ethiopia. There's a nice
but
one.
still, I think from a Caulfield Cup's perspective...
Oh, he's going to the Cox Plate and then the Melbourne Cup.
It is December Draw, Seville and Viola Ichi. The thing out of that, though, is December Draw gets a 1.5 kilo swing back on Seville for just being beaten a touch. So.
Okay, well, let's have a look at what's been happening across our website, puntersparadise.com.au, and the activity was rather frantic, as you'd expect at this time of the year. I think Seville was the best Cups trial today, better than the stablemate, and just as good as the Metrop winner. What do others think here? Hawkeye asked that.
Very good call. We all talk about Gay Waterhouse famously getting her prediction about Piero winning the Golden Slipper correct. Well, Lloyd Williams said 6 months ago that this was his Caulfield Cup horse, and that could turn out to be exactly the case. They raised a few eyebrows when they're going to take Green Moon to the Cox Plate and skip the Caulfield Cup, but this might be the reason why.
Well, here's the reason why. According to Nick Williams, that's his Twitter address, NCW717, tells Green Moon's 3-year-old rivals not to turn up the Cox Plate after his Turnbull victory.
Wonder why.
Post-race jubilation, I'll put that down to. But
it's good. It's got a little bit of banter.
It's
there,
a lot easier to
up.
win if they don't turn up, I imagine.
And that adds plenty of spice leading into the race. I think it's good.
But don't you love the way Green Moon, wherever it sits, it can sit right up there if it wants to eyeball. I hope it stalks the speed with Piero and say gloves off at the half mile and let's go for it. Or it can sit back. But it can sustain a run, it can dash. I think it's in tremendous shape.
Okay, well, this is your market. And despite the performance of Green Moon, Piero actually trimmed up across the weekend. More Joyous has obviously lost something on the trip down to Melbourne. She's out to 750. Ocean Park again. Someone forgot to watch that video.
Well,
there are some very good horses. Managar, Green Moon, Ocean Park, More Joyous, multiple Group 1 winners that are at big odds.
The really interesting thing from my point of view is looking forward to this Saturday with the Caulfield Guineas. We all expect Piero to stroll in the Guineas, and he's currently $2.70 for the Cox Plate. What price does he become if he wins the Guineas?
But my thing with that is, does it really make a difference if he wins Saturday?
Yeah, I agree
because
with that.
he's on Saturday, he's only going to take on 3-year-olds, which he's already beaten.
Probably
He's going to go to a mile, which he's already won at. We know he hasn't raced at Caulfield before, but for me, Saturday doesn't change anything for the Cox
But then
Plate.
look at Helmet. Look at Helmet last year.
I know that.
It's a
But I'm
different
just
world this
saying.
time.
I'm just saying.
But
I
if you
can't
want to
see-
back Piero for the Cox Plate, do you do it before this Saturday?
Well, I don't think
it makes
it's
a lot of
built in.
difference. He's
I think
short
it's-
enough.
I think it's built in
I think
now.
they've already factored in that he's going to win it Saturday. I can't see him
What
shorting.
price do you think he'll start in the Cox Plate if all those horses that are currently intending to go make it to the race?
I think he'll start
$3.
350. Yeah,
Well,
I
if
think
it's-
350?
Barriers, who knows?
If
But
one of these horses wins the Caulfield Stakes in terrific fashion going
More
forward.
Joyce comes out, wins a 2-rack by 4.
Yeah,
Which she will.
and see how Menegar goes.
Well,
third
exactly.
up, you know. So, but just quickly, Russ, 10,000 at 275, 10,000 at 270
On Piero.
on Piero, and I think a better close to 10,000 at 135 in the Guinea. So. Don't worry about the cramp odds. They still want to be on.
The bullets have been loaded in all the guns. The
There's
big boys
plenty
have
in the
gone to the
holster.
guns.
Yes.
Now, how about Gay? At the moment, she holds the favourite in all 4 of the big races, and I don't think that's ever been the case in the history of racing. Forget about Team Williams. What about Team Gay? Glen Cadham Gold, unbeaten in Australia, and just blew them off the park on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, this was a dominating performance, straight to the front. Did get an easy time mid-race, so a couple of sectionals there, especially with the stablemate Ruben Percival outside it. But it looked as though it had just chimed in from the turn here. Tommy hit the button and it sprinted like it was in the earlier races on the day over about 1,200 metres. He really raced away. And speaking of Tommy Berry yesterday at Hawkesbury, he seems to think that the horse has still plenty of upside. He was bouncing around there after he pulled up on Sunday.
2 kilo penalty?
2 kilo
2
penalty.
kilos, yeah, 2 kilos into the Caulfield Cup. A better 6,000 at $6 to win the Caulfield Cup. It's into 5. I think that's short enough for me at the moment. The Caulfield Cup, Brent, will be a lot different.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot more pressure. And the thing is, you look at those horses that run 2nd and 3rd in that race, Collini and Ruben Percival. Good luck to the connections, but I don't think they're genuine Caulfield Cup hopes. So why this horse is $5.50? I know he's on the way up, and it's hard to say where he lines up.
52.5 kilos.
53.5.
53.5.
But still, he's got to line up against December Draw, Seville,
Yeah.
these sort of genuine...
What did you make of Lamassery, who seemed to be working home
Well,
late but was a bit disappointed?
He's
hates
pulled
it
up.
when the-
No, but he's pulled up sore. He's pulled up with a few
There was
problems.
always issues there, and when the rain started to fall, that was always going to add to his problem. Even though it still raced pretty well, I think if there's clouds, Lamassery starts to... He's like me in a wet day on a golf
Peter
course.
Roble said yesterday that he'd got to the 500-metre mark, and he said he went to push the button, and he said there just didn't seem to be anything there, and he's pulled up with some arthritic problems.
Okay, well, let's have a look. Gay's got the double going, obviously, with Piero and more Joyce this weekend. But the big three, favourite in the Caulfield Cup, Glencadam Gold. If it wins that, obviously favourite in the Melbourne Cup.
Well, it's already equal favourite for the...
It's
$10 equal in the Melbourne, which I think is outrageous. But anyway.
But again, it might get a 2 kilo penalty into the Melbourne Cup, and it's still got no weight on its back.
Yeah.
Can she win all three?
Well, she definitely can.
She's got
because,
2 chances.
Well, the Cox Plate, she's
Three
going to be
chances.
awfully hard to beat in. She's going to have more Joyce and Piero in the Cox Plate.
And Prazzi.
Prazzi as well.
And let's look at,
got none.
and let's hang on. Let's
It's
look.
got none,
Gay's
Cox,
now
please.
fast getting a record of getting $1.35 pops beat that come out the week later or 2 weeks later, and they win. So she's now got 2 in a row.
After you said Fat Al couldn't win.
Flat Al. We call it flat out, didn't we?
Yeah, we had flat Al.
Gutsy win.
We did say it was well in at the weights, but...
Okay, so he's definitely got that 2 kilo penalty. That's been
Yes.
announced already.
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about what penalty he'll get. He's going to go to the Caulfield Cup. Where else can we get some enjoyment out of Glencadam Gold except for our old mate Richie Callender?
Enjoyment?
Enjoyment?
What's happened
Well,
here?
Richie, a couple of weeks ago, threw this out that if Glencadam Gold wins the Caulfield Cup, he'll do racing review naked. Now he's butted up again
Yep.
on Sunday. Now this fella, Greedy Goblin's got 30 to 1 after the Newcastle Cup.
Yep.
Well, he said methinks 15 to 1 shot. Now you're into 5 to 1, 4 to 1 actually, and Richie
Well, very
has a
much
fair
weighted.
chance to do a racing review nude.
I'm fair to say that the ratings will take a nice drop if Richie's
I
doing
cannot
it.
visualise the big unit nude.
Well, it is weight of money, Glencadam Gold, and it might be weight of...
How short do we expect Glencadam Gold to start on race day, though? If you were thinking about having a bet, would you do it now and take the $5, or would you
Nope.
wait till the day?
I think he's rock bottom odds now because he's
agree.
not going to come out again and do anything. He can't come out and race and improve his
Well,
position.
who's going to run though?
Well, Green Moon, you take...
You take Green Moon
out.
out. You could take Southern Speed out. She'd want to,
Yeah.
show something on
She's
the track.
going, but
Wala
she's going
Ichi?
to the Caulfield.
Walla Ichi is there, the gutsy grey.
These are the interesting horses. When you've
Americane's the
seen
one.
Americane, Dunedin, and these other My Quest for Peace. These other international horses, if they start to line up in the Caulfield Cup, that's where the market will start to take a bit of a change. But I couldn't take the $5 at this stage.
Well, there's a couple of the international horses that have already nominated for the Herbert Power this weekend. Here's the Melbourne Cup. Tell me what interest you got there.
Well, Mount Athos has just continued to shorten. There's Glencadam Gold, which is severe unders for me. Green Moon, look, they're all short enough. But I find it astonishing that Glencadam Gold, all of a sudden, boys, $10 when you got these horses like Tactor Boston and Briganton we've talked about sitting out there at 20 to 1, who will be specific for the Melbourne Cup. So there's a lot of water under this bridge to go.
Australian punters like to see horses, though. They become accustomed. When these horses come out and run, I can imagine they'll shorten because you get a sense that, okay, they're here and they're performing. There's still a lot of unknown about some of
Okay,
those.
Shawadi, Alain de Roy Dupre. I've got that wrong, no doubt.
Yeah,
who
Karen
else?
McAvoy's riding it Saturday.
Yep.
Gatewood, it's going around this Saturday, and so
Herbert
too
Power.
is Ibenco.
Ibencio.
Yeah. All going in the Herbert
Power.
Power, which gets you the free kick into the Caulfield Cup. Hence, they're trying. All of a sudden, they've got some internationals that now realise that they've got to, find some form before they get into it. Otherwise, they're running around for the Sandown Classic.
Yeah, and it's all becoming very interesting now. And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to see some very nice racing.
And what our great mates at Luxbet have done is they've weighed in for charity, of course, the Russell Barwick Foundation, aiding desperate punters.
Blokes down on their luck.
$100 you're going to weigh in. The mob's going to put in $100.
Yeah,
We're going to have
good
this.
stuff.
I've gone December draw into My Quest for Peace. So I've gone thin at $134, 100 in. So that's $13,000 for the punters.
Yeah.
If we happen to do that. You're up next. What is your cup stuff? So we're saying this is what we're going to do this week.
Americane for me, the male strong that forget about the Moonee Valley. It's going to the Caulfield Cup. Wants the tougher run. Don't worry about weight penalty. Americane to win the Caulfield Cup into this horse I love for Melbourne Briganton, 420.
Nice and
42,000.
juicy. I'm going December draw in the Caulfield Cup. Loved its run on Saturday.
Oh, so we're all-
Fourth up into the Caulfield Cup, down to the 55 kilos. I really like it, and I'm still banking on Briganton to Fire there on Melbourne
So you're the
Cup
same
Day.
as me, 19,000 and, oh, please, here he goes. Lights of
Lights
heaven.
of heaven.
I like
Well, he
the fact
couldn't-
he's potting it because he potted Tamby last week and he potted Fat Al, so I should just keep potting him,
Hang
Russ.
on, I'll probably get a tweet here saying, what about Zabillionaire? You jumped off that pretty quickly.
Lights of Heaven hit the line very nicely last start. Locked in a photo with Morayan, who's franked that form by coming out and winning since, and Lamesry, who was flying at the time and has had a fantastic campaign. So I think Peter Moody's very confident with the way she's ticking along, and she's going to go into the Caulfield Cup fresh. And Tacta Boystron, the difference between that horse and Brigaton, who these two have tipped, is Tacta Boystron's definitely going to get a start in the race.
Okay, plenty of racing action over the next couple of weeks, of course. And it all continues at Rosehill Gardens. We had Super Saturday last week, and it's another terrific race day this week. You can watch all the highlights from the Caulfield Guineas meeting. Ank Stakes, Racing Around the World's the new promotion. You and a friend could win $20,000 worth of international racing adventures next year. Royal Randwick, Royal Ascot and Sha Tin in Hong Kong. The big spring grab, $100,000 in free bets will be given away this week to all of the customers who spend a minimum of $20 on the tab and back a winner. Super Saver ticket is still available there, $30 and you get $70 worth of value. Just simply go to theraces.com.au. And that is the latest from our Punters Paradise Spring Tipping Contest as well. Casper,
Little White Ghost.
yeah, he's done all right. 8,500 profit. I think the worst result, someone lost about $12,000 again. So puntersparadise.com.au /TTYK is the website to go to.